I'm on the drugs right now. I can use your love right now. With this steady trying to tear me down. I'm just trying to tell
We linked up like what 3:30 on a Friday?
Yeah.
Unheard of.
Yeah.
All right, let's get in this Kwame Brown shit. So y'all heard about the Kwame Brown little the 5 different beefs he's in?
Oh yeah, let's hear this.
I was gonna try to just like read it off, but like it keeps or not say it, but like it's so many different ones. But I'll just read off what they telling us. This is from the New York Post. What set Brown off? Brown's social media resurgence was sparked by recent episodes of the All the Smoke podcast, hosted by retired NBA players Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. Jackson and Brown were teammates on the Bobcats' 2010-2011 roster. In a recent episode, Lakers owner Jeannie Buss Jack. Oh, my fault. In a recent episode with the Lakers owner Jeannie Buss, Jackson made a comment shading Brown's basketball skills while discussing the Gasol trade. A few weeks later, former NBA star Gilbert Arenas appeared on the podcast and called Brown a show pony, whose confidence was crushed by Michael Jordan's tough treatment while he played for the Wizards from 2001 to 2005. Arenas also noted that when he got to the Wizards in 2003, he didn't have time to fuck with Brown because he was making more money than Brown, and the Wizards were technically my team at the time. Bro, but that's not what he was saying, though.
Broke boy.
No, he was keeping it real, but like he actually was talking, because, bro, everyone knows Kwame was doo-doo, though. Like, and he was saying that it was Michael Jordan's fault. He crushed his confidence, and he was like a crushed kid. But he even said, like, bro, he would have been like, I forgot who he compared him to. I think he said he could have been like a Giannis type player, like with his skill set. He's like, he was more of a guard. He basically, I don't remember if it was Giannis or someone else, but he was saying he had more like guard attributes, but he was so crushed the way he was, but like, so he wasn't really shit on him. He was just saying at the time, I couldn't really fuck with him like that, so I wasn't trying to boost his confidence. But like, him of all people, like he actually wasn't that down on him. But yeah, Kwame went crazy on everybody, because that's not even just them. He went on Charlemagne. Who else?
Matt Barnes.
Stack.
Granby. He went a whole
DJ
Breakfast Club.
Stephen A. Smith.
He asked Stephen A. Smith to throw hands, bro. He
Stephen A.
says,
Smith.
go to Seattle because we don't need to sign no waivers and let's throw hands. And of course, Stephen A. Smith, after all that shit, didn't say nothing back.
And recently, Charlemagne actually got a cease and desist order against him because he was bringing up Charlemagne's past about the rape shit that Charlemagne actually self-admittedly said, which was kind of dumb for him to say that on air. But what were you about to say?
Also, I think Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson has this podcast, All the Smoke. I think Matt Barnes actually invited him to All the Smoke, and basically was like, "Well, if you want to box, we could arrange something like that." But he put it out on, like, he had a post about it, so that'll be interesting.
Matt Barnes said that?
Yeah,
Nah.
Matt Barnes was like, if you want to come on All the Smoke and talk about it, like real men and stuff, we could do that. And after, if you still want to fight, you could
Man,
arrange.
Kwame Brown beat his ass, bro.
Honestly, yeah, like Kwame Brown's a pretty big dude.
When he called him out, Gilbert Arenas started apologizing, bro,
Right.
being all nice in his IG comments and shit like that.
Apparently, like the NBA players was like, his screens were actually like,
Yeah.
really,
He said he saw Kwame Brown punch a bouncer in the jaw and break it. And like, especially he's just one of the strongest players he ever played with.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And also Kobe's 81-point game. I'm sorry, but he had this remark, was like, you see the screens I was setting?
Yeah, we combined for 82. You see the screens
Like, you see
I was
that?
setting?
Did he really say that?
Yeah.
Bro, Kobe has a story about Kwame. He said he was talking about when he's bitching about, or not bitching, but he was talking shit about Smush and.
You don't want that smoke? You don't want that smoke from Kwame?
No. I was talking about Kobe. I was talking about Kobe. I want to speak about my guy in that. Like, Cole was talking about just talking shit about Smush and Kwame. And he was saying one game he had fed Kwame in the post. He had a mismatch and Kwame fucked it up. Like, he lost the ball. And then Kwame comes over to him and say, "Hey, Cole, don't throw me the ball, man. I'm too nervous. Like, don't feed me right now." And then dude, Gilbert said the same thing. Gilbert was like, yeah, he would come to me and be like, "Hey, for my first touches, let me get it off the glass first. Let me just hold off. Let me try to get an offensive board or something like that." The nigga had no confidence. And Kobe said he went over to Phil Jackson, was like, "Phil," like, he told him what he told him. He said, "Bro, take him out. What the fuck is he playing right now? He's not ready to go." Phil's like, he'll figure it out. And he just didn't do nothing with him. But what do y'all think about him? Because he's been going hard on he's just firing back at everybody. He's talking about what he'll do to them. He's talking about all the analysts, he's talking about how they just tear down black men and pretty much going on that. What do y'all think about it?
I'm on Team Kwame, bro.
Yeah?
Like, I fuck with it. Because, like, he's been the butt of jokes for, like, 20 years now.
Yeah.
Because he was doo-doo.
I mean, he was doo-doo for #1 overall pick. But, like, you got dudes like Matt Barnes talking shit. Like, who are
Matt
you?
Barnes had a better career than Kwame.
Way better.
I mean, like,
that's
better.
understandable.
I mean, did he have a way better career?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or did he have a way better career relative to his draft position?
How many?
way better
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, what has Matt Barnes done in his career?
He was. He's a role player, but so
And Kwame Brown was a starter most of his career. Matt Barnes was a bench player most of his career.
most of his career?
I'm like 90% sure most.
Because he was big on the Orlando. They had a really big
came off the
run
bench
with
in
Orlando.
He came off the bench in Orlando.
He was a
came
big
off the bench in
factor.
LA. He came off the bench in Golden State.
He's been on every team in the NBA.
Yeah, and came off the bench for like 90% of them. So did he have a better career than Kwame Brown, or did he have a better career relative to his draft position? Because Kwame Brown, he was a solid starter.
You can say relative to draft position, but regardless, if you're a bust and your career amounts to nothing, like Anthony Bennett, it's like you better career, Matt Barnes. Who are we talking about in a better light? Matt Barnes. Who are we making jokes about every day? Kwame Brown. Who got traded consistently and was a complete bust and got his confidence shattered? Kwame Brown.
But like,
Matt Barnes got a ring.
But no, he doesn't.
No, he does have a ring, but that was just a joke. Warriors.
Yeah, he was on and off.
He was on the team?
On and off.
Yeah.
No
The
way.
KD teams?
He was on a 2017.
Exactly.
Did he play?
But
He played
No.
before the playoffs. Then he got hurt right before the playoffs, and then he came back hurt.
They got a
But
participation
If we-
trophy.
But I will say this is something interesting Kwame did say, and it was actually like something to think about. He was stating how these white people are basically getting these group of black men to come on and basically work for them, putting down other black men. And like, I don't know, it was just kind of interesting the way
I
he
hear
took on
that,
it.
but
Yeah.
who else are they supposed to talk about? We're talking about the NBA.
That's
What
true.
percentage is black men? And he's like, you come at KD, Shannon Sharp, with all that smoke, but you don't, bro. Shannon Sharp also sucks LeBron's dick every day. So like, what are we talking about? Like, you shit on, you tear down black men.
I mean, that kind of a point because nobody's talking about like Tom Brady and Drew Brees that way.
Shannon talks badly about Tom Brady.
They
but,
don't get personally attacked like that though.
But who's personally attacking? I know
NBA players get
Stephen
personally-
A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith was for sure personally attacking Kwame Brown. But if we're talking about Shannon Sharp in there,
But like even other guys like LeBron's been personally attacked a lot. Like they call in question his character, his personality. At the time saying Kevin Durant, but they don't do that for Drew Brees or Tom Brady or Peyton Manning and shit. Like Peyton Manning had a whole rape case. Niggas never talked about it. Like there is a
Peyton had a
difference
rape-
between the
but-
way these superstar white athletes are being treated.
Let's talk basketball though, because I'm talking about most of these conversations we're talking about. He's talking about basketball, African American basketball players. So I'm saying, like, if you're saying Luka doesn't get as much criticism as he should, fair. We could talk about that, but like JJ Redick doesn't get as much criticism, sure. But aside from that, we only talk about black players. So yeah, it's like it is just the game.
But
is
here's
the
the
game.
thing: is why is the NFL covered so much differently than the NBA? The black-dominant NBA compared to the NFL, whose their star players are usually white in the quarterback position. How come they're critiqued and covered completely differently? Is it just because the NBA is just that way, or is it maybe there are some racial
I think the argument has
undertones?
changed though with that one, because I'm just talking about he's saying you guys are tearing down black men by speaking badly on NBA players. If you want to talk about how NFL is covered versus NBA, that's a different discussion. And you're probably right. I don't know much about the NFL, but if we're getting at someone because y'all go up there and tear down black men, and we're just going and he's going in circles just saying over and over, yeah, that's all y'all do. Y'all give KD that smoke, but how come you don't give white basketball players that smoke? I'm thinking who does he
Who's like
give
a
that smoke
star?
to?
I mean, I feel like he was talking more like they, as in sports media in general, and like they're just a part of they. That's how I took it as personally.
I didn't hear him talk football or about any football analyst though. That's the only thing, because there's a lot of football analysts.
I mean,
but
Well, no, that's
yeah, but
Dale's
football analyst
point.
is not going to
That's
talk
the
about
thing.
Kwame Brown though. But he kind of meant like they, as in sports media in general, they're always talking certain way about black men, always. And I kind of see what he means, because white athletes are not covered that way. Like, like Tom Brady, like he has like fiery personality, wants to win, stuff like that. He gets praised for it. But when like another black athlete does the same thing, it's like, oh, he's like making a ruckus on the sideline. Like there is like a difference how black athletes and white athletes are covered, at least in the NFL that I noticed.
But which athletes do you feel like are covered unfairly, like in NBA? Because like I get that they're criticized, but I've never felt like they were like just trying to tear people. Like at least like the ones I watch, like
DeMarcus.
Shannon and them. Huh?
DeMarcus for
DeMarcus.
sure. DeMarcus for sure.
What about him?
They will just treat him like, oh, he was a bad person. Same thing with kind of like Westbrook too. Like, these guys represent being a bad teammate. Nobody likes him. Yada yada yada. And he talked to all their teammates like, no, I loved him. Like he was a great guy. Like we had no issues. Like I love playing with him.
But is that a black thing, or is that just how the media is? Because they just draw up narratives.
I
They
mean,
always do
That's
that.
the point that he's
Yeah,
making,
yeah,
though. It's the
yeah.
media.
Wait,
Yeah,
but
anyway,
I think
like,
a better example would be like Kyrie. Just because I feel like Westbrook is more like on his on-court type of play that really dictates the type of teammate he is. Opposed to like Kyrie kind of gets like that, oh, he's a nuisance off the court, so he's going to bring that into the locker room. I think out of every NBA player, I feel like Kyrie probably gets the most of what you guys are talking about.
Like criticism.
As far as letting the environment that you are in outside dictate who you really are in a basketball perspective. Like,
So how should analysts go about it? If you guys feel like they are there to just tear down black men, how do they go about giving criticism of black men? Or is there specific stuff we're talking about that we feel like was personal? The Kwame stuff I felt like was definitely personal. Like with Stephen A, I feel like that was something that's kind of out of bounds. So where do y'all put it?
I feel like there's specific players that get what you guys are talking about mainly, or what Dale's bringing up. Like for me, the first person was just Kyrie. But if we're talking about Westbrook, like I know for a fact, like when I think about Westbrook, I think about his plays on the court. Sometimes he takes not the smartest shots, his IQ plays. That's all basketball. But I know for a fact that outside of basketball, he's more towards this community. You've never really heard anything about him. He has a family and his wife. You know,
but for years nobody knew that though. It was just a whole perception. Like,
but was it
this wild guy? Because the media made that. Because he has this whole beef with the media.
But was it
right?
wild based on his court play, or was it wild based on off the court? Because with Kyrie, it's off the court, whereas with Westbrook, it's mainly on the court.
No, but they use his on the court play and like his fiery personality to paint that. Oh, this is how he is as a person. And you know how some niggas are just different on the court, and some niggas are different in real life, and like
right, like Kobe faced that. You know his whole
what
career,
about
really.
Westbrook's interviews where he's talking crazy too? He is talking a certain way to reporters. You are controlling how you're portrayed in that light, because there are interviews where he does show off a certain way. So it's like you do see that side of his personality. But in terms of like the stuff of him being a bad teammate, yeah, I think that's true. Like that's just not true. I think most of his teammates would say it's not true.
Absolutely, and it's probably the same for Kyrie. Like I feel like with Kyrie, most of his teammates will probably really love him. I know Iman Shumpert hangs out, and you know J.R. Smith. But yeah, I would say that's really the only one person in the NBA right now that I can think of. Maybe
you don't think
Kevin
Kyrie
Durant
brings it on himself? But even then, I feel like we're getting into a different conversation, because do we feel like they're tearing down black men?
I mean,
it's like
the whole NBA is black. So it's kind of hard to differentiate.
So that's what I'm saying. So like, it's like, yeah, by nature, because the NBA is full of black men, and we only talk about the black men.
But is it our fault that we let how they're perceived like right after a game and on the court? Is it our fault that we're letting it perceive of who they really are as like a person? Like, you know, does it fall hand to that?
Okay, you're saying tearing down because
like
it's in the game?
Because social media has so many narratives. Like you were stating, like Westbrook, like Westbrook's saying that right after he took an L. Like nobody's gonna be happy. Like Kobe would do the same thing. Like a lot of people thought Kobe was this dick, and you know.
Yeah, but people say he was a cool guy.
But it's it's our narrative. Is it our fault that we look at those interviews and be like, wow, he seems rude. He must be rude in general. And you know, is it our fault, or is it really just shining a spotlight on like specifically saying like on their actions? So I mean, are we letting it perceive that way, or?
I would just say like maybe more specifically for the DeMarcus Cousins, situation is that I've seen is. I don't know if anybody specifically said like he plays that more thuggish role, like acting wise, or like, but I fucked up.
Okay, but well, it's all good. Back to Kwame.
Could I say something about the Kwame Brown and the Charlemagne shit? Because like Charlemagne, did you guys hear what he said on the Breakfast Club? He like spoke about his family, like how his dad was charged with murder.
Kwame's dad or Charlemagne's dad?
Kwame Brown's dad.
Fucked up.
He actually, I think it was like with an axe. I think he murdered his girlfriend supposedly, and then he went back and then came back for a trek, and that's when he got caught. Like he left the state after he fled after murder, and then he came back, and then Charlemagne started bringing something up about his brother, and his brother also had like a crazy case about that, and he was just like Charlemagne's point was like, yo, leave that dude alone, like as much as you can, like leave Kwame Brown alone. And his point was that since he has men like this in his family, it's like you guys are like bullying this dude, he might snap. And then next thing you know, Kwame Brown, he comes back, and Kwame Brown's like super heated at Charlemagne for that narrative. And I didn't think that was that bad of a take on Charlemagne, but where did you see?
You didn't have to go in this business.
That I was about to say, exactly. I flip flop, because on that one, I got it, because it's like if I'm Kwame and I'm speaking out on, first of all, he's been silent. By the way, I think all this is a media tour, like. Him being this folk, bro, like, why else would you be consistently on IG? Now you promote. I got a platform now. Yeah. Nah, I'm doing. No, he's literally promoting this shit. We sitting here talking about it like it's exactly what we want. Like it's like a promo run. But regardless, because look at how many people have jumped in exactly what he wanted. And that's why Shannon was like, bro, we're not bringing you up here to hype your shit up. He's like, whatever. Regardless, in terms of that, yeah, bro. I mean, first of all, what's his name was saying? Charlemagne said that, but Kwame was saying, bro, I don't even know my brother, and that nigga is not in prison. He's at work. But Charlemagne made it seem like he had gotten arrested. He got charged with something. But also, it's just you are kind of in the dude's business. Like him coming at Matt and them like, y'all pussies, y'all punks, blah blah blah, saying this shit. You don't got to go on, hey man, this guy's dangerous. You don't know what guys. Trust me, his dad killed somebody. This is like, you trying to portray it a certain way. Like you are putting out a narrative of this guy's a loose cannon, but it's like, what if I don't know?
We've never
don't have
seen
much
it
to base
from
that.
Kwame. The only reason I kind of see Charlamagne's point, because he is also from North Carolina. I think the thing of what he said about his brother, like that was completely like that was false information. But like the thing he said about his dad, I could see him being a what's it called, a media like person. What's another word for fucking media?
Media personality.
Media
Or-
personality. Yes, and yeah, you're gonna try to draw the connections, and I kind of saw it, and yeah, definitely that's not right, putting out somebody's business. But yeah, I don't know, that one's kind of tough. But he started going in on Charlotte, like he started going in on the entire Breakfast Club, and you could just see how angry Kwame, like everybody has like made him. That's just wild.
But at the same time, I just feel like I know a promo run when I see one. And like you can see when he's going on these rants, he's bringing back stuff, he's running in circles, he's keeping it going pretty well. Like but it's like academics when he's on a stream. That's literally what Kwame looks like. Like he's just got more and more and more to go. Like he's doing his shit. Like if whatever he's promoting, whatever he's gonna be on soon, I feel like we are going to see something in the near future, because all this time he's been silent, and now he's coming out and just
going up on everybody. Yeah.
But I don't. The only part I can't feel, not to go back to, but like the only part I can't feel is just when he's saying y'all tearing up. I just wonder if it's legitimate or if he's just continuing to like to find something. Because some of his points, like when he would list off other things, I'm like, that's kind of a flimsy argument. Like that's not. It's not showing that much. But I wonder what he's gonna do, because he said he's gonna put an end to them being able to tear down black men. So I wonder what that's gonna look like.
Or like on SportsCenter, like let's say DeMarcus gets like another like technical foul or something like that. Like that will be on SportsCenter that day. Like, oh, look at DeMarcus getting another tech. Like he's angry type shit. Versus like you don't see that really. You see that. I mean, Luka gets texts all the time too.
Yeah, Luka's bad. Luka's annoying as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
He complained. You used to be seeing him complain about everything. Bro, dude, he's the biggest
He's a
fucking
bad
bro.
man,
If I
though.
were-
That's a bad man though. Luka.
Yeah, bro, but like he got that syndrome, bro, where
he
like
got
he
that
just start
angry
complaining about.
European syndrome.
Yeah, bro, like the way he
Is he French or something?
He's like Slovenian, I think.
Yeah. Oh, the way he it's just annoying when you could see the replay and it's like, bro, you're wrong a lot of the time. Like it's crazy. Some places it's like they're like, oh, Luka wanted a foul on that one. I'm kind of surprised. Like, cause he's sitting there yelling down the court. Like, bro, how do you have that much pride? Like, you never look back after the games like, oh, maybe I should start shutting the fuck up a little more, because I was wrong 5 times last game.
And it's kind of weird because you assume that EuroLeague is more tougher, or they have that reputation of being tougher.
Really? I feel like
Yeah.
they're more finesse in the EuroLeague.
I feel like EuroLeague has a reputation of having a tougher defense. At least that's what I hear.
Oh,
and it's
shit.
funny seeing like Luka just like complain
through
about
us,
it. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Luka-
He does walk through us too. So that might.
Slowest jump shot ever. Still
Dirty
gets
dog.
it off
That's why we get the
35
step back,
feet.
bro. It gets that half second he needs.
from slowest step back ever.
All right, y'all want to move on? Let's go to. Oh, y'all. All right, J. Cole album. What's the deal? What's the vibes? Dale's favorite album.
Girl, I'm off the drugs right now. I could use your love right now.